Alright, welcome back to the channel, and today's video we will be looking at some of the updates for the Analogue 3D that have come out overnight, prettying up our system a little bit and playing around with some controllers again. So you may have seen my last video where I looked at some of the issues I had with compatibility for the Analogue 3D and modern controllers in particular. Overnight they have actually released an update which somewhat alleviates that by making the Nintendo Switch Online controller compatible, so we're going to be checking that out. We also have an 8-bit Do controller, so our 64 8-bit Do controller arrived in the mail, which is very exciting. We're going to be looking at that, and we're going to be importing the box art to our system as well to make things a little bit more exciting and colorful on the menu. We've also picked up a couple of games today. So CEX, we were there with some friends, and after we went to some fun little hijinks hotel sort of mini game thing, had some ramen afterwards, we ended up going to CEX and I purchased more games. So what are you going to do? But like I said, one of the things we're going to look at specifically is going to be the 8-bit Do controller. So we'll have a bit of a play with that. But first, we need to update our Analogue 3D to the latest firmware. So let's get going with that because hopefully we're going to be able to use this controller, which kind of makes this one less useful, but hey, I wanted this anyway, so whatever. Do we need a thumbnail? Am I pogging out? Sure, thumbnail. All right, so first things first, we are going to grab some downloads to help us with what we're going to do today. The first thing we're going to do is I'll try to remember to put this link in the description. We're going to grab the labels.db file and use that to get box art onto the system. Should be fairly straightforward. We just go to latest release and download labels.db. Pretty sure that's all we need to worry about. So yeah, open up the properties, just over 20 megabytes. That looks like that's accurate, that's correct, so happy days. Now the other thing we need to do is we need to jump over to the Analogue 3D website. So once we're in the support section, we go to Analogue 3D and we want firmware 1.2. We'll download that. We'll pop that on our desktop so it's nice and easy. And now we need to grab the SD card. So, the SD card is just at the back here. Out that comes. Knock the camera, fantastic. We're pros here. And then we just need to insert that into an SD card reader. That goes into our computer and that should open up here for us nice and easy. And now we just need to drop these files into place. So I believe library N64 games, no. Images. So library N64 images, we just drop this in here. Cool. And now for the firmware update, I believe we just drop it here. Let's get rid of the old one. I'm not sure if that's necessary. I probably should have read some stuff before we jumped in to do this, but hey, seat of our pants here. And well, I guess we better safely eject stuff here. Right, eject. There's nothing embarrassing on my bar, right? My favorites bar. If it's blurred, there was something embarrassing there. All right, so we take an SD card and we should just be able to place it back in the device. It'd help if we did it the right way. And then we power it on. And we should see this LED start to change, and I think it blinks. It does something. Yeah, there we go. So it's currently updating the firmware. So let's look at opening our capture software, and yes, it's currently updating. So we just need to wait for that to finish and we'll be updated. Now I'm curious, so I don't actually know in terms of it becoming compatible with the Nintendo 64 Switch Online controller, what we need to do, if we can pair it, or if it is cable only still. Analogue 3D NSO controller connection 1.2 firmware. Let's have a look at the patch notes, the firmware update notes. So the patch notes for this firmware update, so compatibility issues with some 4K displays and switches, issues with corrupted OS graphics, compatibility issue with HDMI, CEC, and eARC. We don't worry about that, which is fine. Although maybe that'll improve. Like I noticed that I use an Elgato HD60X, whatever it is, the 4K capture card. And it's a bit finicky sometimes, but it seems to be generally fine. Core. Added CPU feature, MI repeat and eBus. Fixed issue with CPU COP0. RSP Intel, I don't know any of this stuff. Fix cartridge open bus exception. This is all very technical, isn't it? OS, the library now tracks and displays total playtime. Hey, sweet. That's really cool. We haven't started to sort of play any games in earnest. I'm sort of hoping to do that this evening. So we will actually start to be able to see what our playtime and stuff is. I like that. I like little embellishes like that in this sort of stuff. It shows when each game is added. That's kind of cool. Special thanks. Expansion pack and controller. I thought that did it already. I thought it had an icon for that, but cool. Forced progressive output. I don't care about any of this stuff. I'm sure it's very important to people that it has impacted, but it hasn't done that for me. Improved cartridge detection. That'll be interesting because we've had, it's been fine for me, but I have noticed its detection is not 100%. But whether or not that's my cartridges being old, secondhand, I'm not sure. Everything I got has been basically without a box and just bought sitting on a shelf for God knows how long. OS visual polish. Force original hardware setting to disable 30-bit color. Controllers, here we go. Support for Switch Online N64 controller. 8-bit do N64 mod kit now supports switching between virtual controller pack and rumble pack. New automatic reminder when 8-bit do 64 controller is out of date or not in D mode. So it doesn't tell me how the Switch Online controller is going to connect. So I guess we're going to have to figure that out. And if we do that in a clever way, we might even be able to make a short out of it. Because, you know, we need to start doing shorts on this channel. So we are still updating. It's a process. And we can see here, I suspect that actually, and I'll have to review the footage, but that looks like the 4 controller ports are acting as a progress bar. Because that matches the 4 segments on the screen. There we go, they're flashing and resetting. It's restarting. Look at that. Look at that. Elgato, or like Elgato. Analogue 3D is nearly ready. Please take a moment to set up date and time. All right, so we're going to use our 8-bit do controller. So we have already paired it. We've already sort of tested it and stuff. So far, it has been like start to turn it on, and it has connected pretty much straight away. And that seems like the case. That's really quick. About to dox myself doing this through Elgato +10. So there's a delay until I switch over to the direct HDMI, but while I'm doing the update, I figured I'd do it this way. Actually, you know what? I think I'm done with desktop share. Let's get our preview screen over here. All right, cool. Australia, Queensland. Oh God, that feels so much better. It is currently the 30th of January. It's the 30th, right? 31st. See how suspicious. January, it is also currently 3:58. Apply changes. Hey, and look at that. Our images, our box art has worked wonderfully. That's so much better. I kind of want to jump in and see if I can edit the file to change the box art a little bit. From what I've read briefly, the only thing you can change is literally the label in the cartridge. The rest of it is sort of hard-coded into a certain degree, but yeah. Let's load up Diddy Kong Racing. They are not. There we go. All right, everything's working. We updated 1.2 just like that. I'd like to say we did it live, but I'm probably gonna have to edit some of that stuff out, but it literally did just take 5 minutes. And that included bringing over the library .db to get the images. So this is one of the games we bought today. Excitingly, in this case, we actually got the box, which means we also got the manual as well. We paid 80 bucks for this. Excited to play it. I'm going to stream it tonight and play it for a little bit because I think this is probably a great game to sort of mess around with the controllers and sort of get to know them a little bit more. Before we do that though, I'm very curious. Let's just exit out of this. Oh, this menu's changed. So previously, quick cartridge was up here. It was like one continuous menu, but now it is changed a little bit. So I think they've added stuff to this menu. Cool. Oh, the added isn't there because I added it before the update. So technically it might be worth deleting all the cartridges I've added and re-adding them to get the added dates. I mean, obviously a bunch of them are going to be wrong because I bought them earlier, but it will be cool to track the collection going forward. And it will mean that I'll want to be careful with sort of the metadata being saved here. I wonder if it could be backed up. Interesting, very interesting. Now, let's see if this is also going to be easy. The Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller. The patch notes for the update didn't say explicitly how to do this. I guess we're gonna have to try and guess. So we've got it on, we've got it scanning. Do we just do the pairing mode on the analog? Searching for controller. We're player 2. How do I change controllers? Is there a way to reassign controllers, or do I have to connect them in order? You know, other people put out guides because they test all this stuff. I do this in front of y'all and look like a fool. All right, so I'm going to power this off. And then we're going to see if we can just hit start on the Nintendo Switch Online controller and if it will just reconnect for us. All right, so we're going to start, searching, connected, and we're connected. There we go. Nintendo Switch Online controller is just that easy. So all you need to do is put it into pairing mode using the button at the top, put the Analogue 3D into pairing mode, and it will connect just like the 8-bit controller. That is crazy. That is kind of upsetting that it didn't come like this. But hey, you know, what are you going to do? Diddy Kong Racing. Let's play some. Let's play some with the proper controller. Oh, this is exactly what I wanted, was to be able to play with this. There are definitely games I think I will use this controller for exclusively. I think Diddy Kong's one of them. Probably GoldenEye once I pick that up. Mario 64, Banjo Kazooie, those games I'll probably play with this. But other games like Hybrid Heaven and stuff, we might play with the modern controller. We'll see. I think any game that I played a lot as a kid, I just mentally, I use this controller. Banjo. It's so weird in this game that Banjo talks. Okay, yes, it is okay. Do not change rumble pack or control pack during gameplay. Controller pack is required to save and load ghost data. All right, adventure. All right, fam, we gotta erase. We gotta erase the first one, don't we? Okay. All right. When I stream, I'm going to start from fresh, but just to mess around, we are going to... No! Just to mess around for the controller purpose, we're going to do this. All right, return. All right, so home button brings up the menu. Share button doesn't seem to do anything. What about this button? Oh, here we go. So the oval button up here changes between Rumble Pack and Memory Pack. You guys can't really see it because I've got my screen cropped to the 4:3 gameplay, but the overlay for the Analogue 3D actually is 16:9. So with the Nintendo Switch Online controller, we can switch between Rumble and Memory Pack, and we can also determine whether or not we bring up the menu using the menu buttons as well. Cool. All right, let's do a basic race. One balloon race. Bop, 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 bop. 3 balloons. Jungle Falls, let's go. Come on, Banjo. Is there a super start in this game? That is not a super start, that is the water. That is like the worst start in the world. All right, we want bananas for top speed. Shut up. Oh man. Where's Cruising USA? I'm okay with that game. Oh man, Banjo is fucking dookie. Oh my god, this is insane. Do I restart and pretend that this is it? We'll just cut here. Cut! Yeah, huh? All right, there we go. We do actually have to kinda, like, decelerate and accelerate appropriately. Oh yes, we dodged the balloons. Gotta get those bloody accelerators. Not missed it again. Only 4 bananas. I think 10. Oh god. 10 would be our max. Oh, we missed it. Can we shoot backwards? No. That's the power of original hardware. Well, pretend original hardware. I'm so glad I've got this. I've never really used this controller consistently, but now I'm going to like use the shit out of it. Amazing. Why is there a 5 but not a 4? All the tasks. All right, quick game. Let's keep going. Wait, no. We want the full quit. All right, let's see how we go with searching, recognizing cartridges. So, Super Mario 64, another game we got today. I was sort of in two minds of getting Super Mario 64 because I have it on Super Mario 3D All-Stars. It's obviously part of Nintendo Switch Online as well. Oh, we didn't grab it. Not reading it. You're clean. There we go. Oh man, I'm getting old. I had to really sort of reach weird to get around the camera. And I hurt my shoulder. Jesus. Oh, retro gaming. Ugh. All right, what is it? We press B and we can play with it? No, there we go. The controller. Oh yeah. Look at this silly boy. Got your nose. Anyway, start. Look at this. 2 maximum completion games. We're gonna erase them. I feel kind of guilty erasing them, but I suppose not that guilty. All right, let's jump in here. I don't want to bother with all the faff at the start. Again, we're just gonna. Oh, man, it feels good. It feels responsive. Getting the triple jumps is kind of like where I can feel it. And I say that with full disclosure, I'm not, like, I don't operate at the height of skill in these games. Like, the best games for me to test, like, lag in a controller is typically Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, that's the game where I can feel it the most. Mega Man as well is a good one. Unfortunately, not necessarily the best option for 64, since they're not 64 games, but all right, let's see how we go. Man, the velocity in this game is really weird because I'm such a full-on Banjo Kazooie. But I understand, like, that's what makes this game so timeless, is that, like, the movement in it is, you know, it does a good job at sort of rewarding skill. Sort of right, oh god. Sort of right on that line between, like, skill and accessibility. Whereas, like, skillful movement gets heavily rewarded. But you can still sort of make it through otherwise. Yeah, we're sort of nailing the, oh my god. We're nailing the triple jump, so yeah, the responsiveness is correct. I'm just not good at this game. It's one of those games that probably most of the time that I played it, it was like a display unit when the 64 was first released. No visitors allowed by decree of the Big Bomb. I shall never surrender my stars, for they hold the power of the castle in their glow. Wow, this is a deep story. They were a gift from, oh god, there's background. They were a gift from Bowser, the Koopa King himself, and they lie well hidden within my realm. Not a whisper of their whereabouts shall leave my lips. Oh, all right, perhaps one hint. Heed the star names at the beginning of the course, the Big Bomb. I thought it was called the Bomb King. All right. Man, the camera is still scuffed as anything, eh? Oh, man, these posts. Mario 64 was a game that, like, even when it first came out, the 3D in it was something that I couldn't quite necessarily process. Like, being able to get, like, the correct X and Y to get these stomps consistent was something that I was never particularly good at. Particularly the chain chomp one. Or even just jumping on enemies. The stomp helps. The stomp definitely helps. All right, let's start playing a bit more seriously. Ah, Jesus. I guess you do telegraph exactly where you're going to fall, don't you? I actually don't remember where all the red coins are. What's up, buddy? I feel like I was out of that, but anyway. All right, where else? I guess I know where one is. Chain chump, more like chain chump. Nah, went wide. Oh, come on, tracking me. Get out. Fudge off. I mean, there's a star technically, but actually no, let's just grab that star. This video is not about playing Mario 64. Z. Behind Chain Chomp's gate. All right. Let's look at one more game. Let's look at Banjo Kazooie because that's a game I'm probably more familiar with. All right, where did we leave Banjo Kazooie? Diddy Kong Cruising USA to rock. Banjo Kazooie. Hey, detected. It's got the added time. Wait, is this the first time I've plugged it in? 418. Crazy. I must have erased it. So this is the first time. Siri, shush.
Okay.
I shouldn't have said the S word. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Hop, 2, 3, 4. Hop, 2, 3, 4. Love that I have to pick the language every time I play. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, this feels correct. Yep. Yep. Controller feels good. Controller feels good. Hop, 2, 3, 4. Hop, 2, 3, 4. Yahahaha. Oh, this is great. So I still firmly exist in the camp that like just generic 3D. So I still exist in the camp that Bluetooth controllers broadly should be compatible with this system. I think that's still a very valid criticism. I think adding the NSO Switch Nintendo 64 controller is a great step. It's still, you know, a niche-ish controller that if you're not a Nintendo Switch Online member, I don't think you can order it. And even if you could, I'm not even sure what the availability is anymore. Like, honestly, I haven't looked at it since it came out and I ordered one. I know that they don't necessarily stay in stock forever. So it would be nice to see more controllers made compatible with the system. Having said that, like the fact that Nintendo's controller works just as much with just as much features as the 8-bit Do one that is designed specifically for the system. Very happy that that is the case. I don't think there's anything it doesn't do. Not to say that there was a huge amount of features like accessing the home menu, accessing the rumble pack versus the memory pack. I'm not sure what else it would need to do, but yeah, gotta say, pretty happy with it. But I think I am going to end the video there and go and have some dinner and do some other bits and pieces. But I'm going to start streaming some of these games. I think we've started to pick up quite a few games, and it's time to start playing through them. Like, it's one thing to sort of jump in and mess around and have a good time. But it's also, time to eventually start to get through these, all of these, now that we have a good selection of controllers that we can pick, and also we have a good selection of games. Mission Impossible, I still haven't booted up. Not Wave Race, Wipeout. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that sort of stuff, please consider subscribing. Very much would love to see people come and hang out and chat about some of these games that have very special places in many of our hearts. Or just if you're interested in seeing what games were like decades and decades ago, would love to have you there. But otherwise, this is it. Links down below to the firmware and to the box art for the Analogue 3D. And if you've got any questions about the Analogue 3D that you want me to try out or that I haven't covered here, or any other comments, let me know. I love to see interaction on the channel and stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.